Hi there, my name is Marianne from the Online English Centre UK, and today I want to talk to you about adjectives, comparatives and superlatives. First, I will give you a brief explanation of what the three terms mean. Hopefully you already understand the term noun and adjective. In the simplest explanation, a noun is an object, a place or a person. An adjective is a word that describes a noun. So, for example, house is a noun. A big house, big, is the adjective, house is the noun. A comparative is the form of the adjective used for comparing two things. So, for example, my house is bigger than yours. Bigger is the comparative form of the adjective big. Now, superlative is the term used for the form of the adjective used for something that is the most or greatest form of the adjective used. So an example is, my house is the biggest in the street. Biggest is the superlative of the adjective big. Okay, so unfortunately, there is not one rule that applies to all adjectives for forming the comparative and superlative. However, there are some useful guidelines that I'm going to share with you. So, for adjectives of one syllable, a syllable is a unit of sound. For example, tall, old, long, large, wise, big, fat, thin. We add the ending ER for the comparative and EST for the superlative. So, some example sentences would be, James is tall. This is the adjective for James, the person and the noun. Paul is taller than James. Taller is the comparative of the adjective tall, and Steve is the tallest. This is the superlative form of the adjective tall. So that's quite simple and applies to all adjectives with one syllable. Tall, taller, tallest. Old, older, oldest. Long, longer, longest. For adjectives of two syllables that end with ER, LE or OW, the same rule applies. So, a two-syllable adjective ending in ER, clever. Clever becomes cleverer or cleverest. A two-syllable adjective ending in LE would be, for example, gentle. Gentle becomes gentler or gentlest. And a two-syllable adjective ending in OW, an example would be narrow. Narrow becomes narrower or narrowest. So it's exactly the same rule applies to these adjectives. Now, two-syllable adjectives that end with a Y, there is just one very small change. The ending becomes ear or eest in place of and est. For example, adjectives like happy, angry or busy. Example sentences, I am busy. The adjective describing me, I am the noun, or the comparative, my friend is busier than me. The superlative, her mum is the busiest. Can you understand there's just an I put before the ER or EST for forming these comparatives and superlatives. So for all other adjectives, it's even simpler. All 3-syllable adjectives or 2-syllable adjectives that aren't covered by these rules, we add the word more and most. More forms the comparative and most forms the superlative. So, for example, adjectives like generous, important, intelligent all have 3 syllables. So we would say, you can say, I am generous. This is the adjective. To make the comparative, she is more generous than me. To make the superlative, he is the most generous. So in fact, that's very simple. You use the adjective preceded by more for the comparative and most for the superlative. So, of course, there are some exceptions, and unfortunately these you will just have to learn. However, there are only 5 really important ones to learn. These are good becomes better or best. Bad becomes worse or worst. Far becomes further or furthest. And little becomes less or least. Many becomes more or most. This one we use for forming the comparative and the superlative. So a quick example using one of these exceptions to the rule. Is Bristol far? The adjective being far, Bristol being the noun. London is further than Bristol, further being the comparative. But Glasgow is the furthest, the superlative, the most. So just to finish off, I'm going to give you a little exercise. I will give you 4 sentences with a gap, and then I will tell you the adjective, and I would like you to choose either the adjective, the comparative, or the superlative to fill the gap. Sentence number 1. A rock is. Then a leaf. The adjective is heavy. Sentence number 2. James is a student than Paul. The adjective is good. Sentence number 3. Mary is than Joe. The adjective is happy. And last sentence, Monday is the day of the week. The adjective is bad. So good luck with that exercise, and please feel free to contact me if you'd like to check your answers, or if you have any other questions. I'd love to hear from you. I'd also really like to know what it is that you would like me to be teaching you. So my email address is onlineenglishcentreuk @gmail.com, or you can contact me on my website, which is ukonlineenglish.wix.com/onlineenglishcentre. And I hope to hear from you, and good luck with your English learning. Bye.